Hello and welcome back to Angels of Purpose. And this is going to be our political episode, the one about local and state government. And so what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about how your vote is your voice. Now, friends and neighbors of Moultrie, Georgia, and the state of Georgia and the United Nations, we are often told that voting is a civic duty, like paying taxes or serving on a jury. But that description is too small. Voting is not just a duty, it is leverage. It is the only time the person sweeping the street and the person owning the bank have the exact same amount of power. Today we face sobering reality. There are active systemic efforts at the highest levels of government to quiet the voices of Black and brown communities. In 2026, we see this through the SAVE Act and recent Department of Justice shifts that targeted minority voting districts. We've seen this in Alabama and Tennessee and Florida, where they're redistricting, trying to get out the Black Democrats, trying to get out the make the Black people's votes not count. And if you don't believe it's going to happen in Georgia and you think your Republican friends that you go eat with and cook collard greens for is not going to do that to you, just wait and see. By demanding the documented proof of citizenship in person and effectively ending online and mail-in registration, these are the things they're trying to do. These policies create a modern-day poll tax. They're currently in Tennessee, in Virginia, where the people actually voted, for extra districts. The people said yes for a referendum to create more democratic spots on their maps. Then here comes the Supreme Court come back and ruling, or of the state and the capital come back and ruling, saying no. Even though the people have spoken, we're not going to listen to what the people have spoken. But yet and still, they let Florida's governor go back even after the early voting had started, right? And they are redistricting their maps and gerrymandering their maps, and it's okay for them to do that. They're doing the same thing in Tennessee. They're doing the same thing in Alabama. And they're gonna and they're doing it in Fulton County, DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, the places where they have the most Black female voters and where they have the most Black female people in office, right? All right, here we go. Now, they rely on the fact that they can just do all of this and get away with it, and we're just going to sit here and be still and not believe until it's too late that we've lost all of our civil rights, that we've lost all of our rights and voting rights. They want the old boys club to stay in control. They don't want anybody but the old boys club to be in control. They don't think that we have enough sense to vote people in the office who are going to help our interests. They only want to make sure that they keep their interests, and that's all that matters. But and these are people who are proclaiming to be of God, and if they're truly of God, all people's matters and interests and situations in life should matter. Not just certain people, certain races of people, or certain genders, but all people. Why are they doing that? Because they know your vote works. They don't suppress what isn't powerful. Let me say that again. They don't suppress what isn't powerful. When you vote, you aren't just picking a name. You're deciding who controls the police budget, who paves your roads, and who decides if your child's school has the books they need. In Georgia, the powers that be are watching to see if we stay home. They are counting on our frustration to turn into silence, but silence is a surrender. If you want to change the system, you have to be the one who hires the people running it. That happens at the ballot box. And let me take a minute just to say here before I continue on, please, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Angels of Purpose. Feel free to go to our website and our contact page and fill out the information on our contact page, and we will respond to you. Also, you can also directly email me if you would like, and it will come directly to me. I'm putting all this information up here for you to review. Okay, and I will give you a call to action as well. What we need to do. The solution to everything that they are trying to do. The systemic oppression. Systemic racism. All right? And please make sure that this message gets out to the people in your community, in your towns, and let them know whether they're in the state of Georgia, because I've traveled all over the country doing political work behind the scenes, helping stuff get done, bringing forth solutions, being about action, not just talking about it, or not just pretending when somebody called me out on something, but I have always been one to get things accomplished. All right. The God working through me. And let me just say that again. God working through me and in me through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom gives me the ability to get things accomplished and done. Because I do my research, I educate myself, then I get knowledge and the wisdom and understanding to be able to provide that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to other people with God's help. All right, here we go. Don't let them take your seat at the table. On election day, and why is early voting? Go ahead and vote now, which early voting ends May 15th in Georgia. In other places, it may be other times, and with everything that's going on, some Florida or whoever had postponed elections until they got what they wanted to redistrict the maps, how they wanted to do it. On election day, show them that your voice isn't just a whisper, it's a command. Understanding your government. To vote effectively, you must understand the menu of power. In Georgia, government is split into 3 levels, and that's everybody. In the United States, you have the state of Georgia handles things like the state budget, education, standards, and voting laws. You have the Legislative General Assembly made up of the state house and state senate. They write the laws. That's the executive power. That's the legislative power. They write the laws. The executive power, which is the governor or the CEO of the state, who signs the laws and manages state agencies. And then you have the judicial power, who interprets the laws, the state courts that interpret Georgia's constitution. Now, county government, let's go ahead and break that down for you. Counties are the arms of the state. Like Cashapp County handles your voter registration, property taxes, and court system, like the superior and probate courts. County commissioner, they decide how your local tax dollars are spent on roads and emergency services. The city government, this is the closest level of government to your front door. The city council and mayor, they manage the police department, local zoning, what can be built and where, and your city utilities. All right, so let's break this down a little bit further. The 2026 election breakdown of Moultrie and Georgia. In May of 2026, Georgia is in the heat of a major election cycle. Here are the key offices in the general landscape. So you have the U.S. Senate incumbent, which means he is currently in office now, Jon Ossoff, who is a Democrat and a powerful man who speaks for the marginalized, who speaks for the people of color, who speaks for everyone, every ethnicity, every race, every gender. He is defending his seat. Please study, research him, but please vote for Jon Ossoff. His platform focuses on voting rights and healthcare inspection. He is challenged by Buddy Carter, a Republican. And so you won't be able to, once Jon Ossoff gets chosen in this primary election, because now you have to declare whether you're whether you're a Democrat or Republican. So in this election, you'll just be voting for the Democrats if you declare a Democrat. And then you, in the November election, you will be able to vote for our Democrat that we've chosen to go up against the Republicans that the Republicans have chosen. And he is challenged by Buddy Carter, a Republican, and Mike Collins, a Republican, who we'll figure out which one of them are going to come out on top after this general election is done. Who generally emphasizes election integrity, strict voting rules, and border security. Those Republicans do. Now, governor, with Brian Kemp termed out, he can't run for governor anymore. The field is wide. So for the Democrats, we have Keisha Lance Bottoms, which I talked to you a little bit about last week. Now, Keisha Lance Bottoms used to be the mayor of Atlanta, city of Atlanta. She believes in Medicare, Medicaid, helping the marginalized, helping the elderly, helping the young. getting more health care in the rural areas, getting more mental health stuff for the rural areas. All right. And if you, Moultrie is one of those small towns in the rural area, basically. Okay. And Michael Thurman focuses on Medicaid and revising voting restrictions. Now, Chris Carr and Burt Jones, those are Republicans. Oh, let me also talk about not only Keisha Lane's Bottom and Michael Thurman, but Jason Estes. Actually, he's an attorney, and I've researched him, and I like him as well. So I would suggest Keisha Lane's Bottom, which has been endorsed by President Biden, or Jason Estes, which has been endorsed by a lot of people that are in the office, in the state office now. He is an attorney, and his wife is a actual in the medical field, right? So I can't remember if she's a nurse or if she's a doctor, but that's someone who's actually on the ground level, and so that's why I think that would be a great vote. If you don't like Keisha Lane's Bottoms, then Jason Estes, okay? Esteves. All right. We're not going to worry about the Republicans until the general election. Now, because I am a Democrat, so I'm going to focus on the Democrat candidates for this primary election. All right, for the local representation in Moultrie in District 2 and 8, you have U.S. District 2, Sanford Bishop, that's Thomasville, Georgia, and some other places. That's where I grew up, and when I was younger, he invited me to introduce him on the house, and I saw how things ran. And when I was younger, they brought me to Washington, D.C. several times where it was paid for because I was one of the top kids in the United States. To God be the glory for our good, right? And he is running for re-election. He's been in office for a long time, since I was a kid. So at least 30 years or more. Sanford Bishop has, and that's like the Thomasville area. I think some of Albany, some of a little different places. But for the Moultrie person, I would say Kelly Esty, which is going up against one of the pastors in this area, John Lucas. John Lucas has been on the Sylvester School Board, but that's about as much experience as he has, right? In a small county, in a small area. And we need somebody who can get things done, who has the experience, and that's Kelly Estes, and he has a doctorate in poverty, which we're going to need that with the things that are coming down by this administration that's in office now. And if you guys have not read Project 2025 and all the things we need to be prepared for, and people saying the worst hadn't hit, they if they could have their way, they would have black people, brown people all in chains, and it would be all about the old boys club. But God has a remnant in the bush, has a ram in the bush. He has a remnant who is going to stand up, not going to care about the threats, and are able to sacrifice and willing to sacrifice for the good of the people, for the glory of God. So don't worry, don't get distressed. God got that. Trust and believe. All right. For District 8, you have that's the one that covers Moultrie, and that's the one that I said, Lucas and Estes, okay? Because I'm not going to talk about the Republican right now. Important local sheriffs in Colquitt County. This is one of the most powerful local positions. They manage the jail and law enforcement. The person in there probably still going to stay. Then you have the school board. They decide the curriculum and budget for Colquitt County schools. For District 1, we have Miss Clovis King. I've known her pretty much all my life. Her family grew up with my family, the Stancils, and are right by each other, and they've known each other all their lives. And she's a good friend. So I pray that the God in her will help make sure that the marginalized and people of color's voices are heard. All right, but she is on the ballot for District 1, which is Northwest Moultrie, basically. All right, and then you have Miss Jeltz, who is up there for the commissioner, for District 1, which is part of Northwest Georgia as well. Okay, so Miss Jeltz. We also have the chief magistrate judge, which for this one, I would say Tracy Williams, because I've seen her out at events even before election time came up, talking about the different things, and letting people know a little bit more. And I'm going to team up with her. I'm going to team up with some more local officials, and we're going to start having seminars and teaching you more in depth, those people who want to know about it, about the local government and how it works and how we need to be ready for to get ready for these different city council meetings and stuff, and how we need to have our stuff in order beforehand, right? All right. So frequently call. I'm not going to say check your Georgia my voter page. I'm going to say call Angels of Purpose. If you can't get us on the phone, email, and I guarantee you that we will get back to you ASAP. We will let you know, update if you need to know. Specifically, if you don't want to do the research and you trust the guide in us to help you know who to vote for, you send me an email. People have done that, and I will let you know. If you're a Democrat. Now, if you're Republicans, I'm not helping you with that. But for the Democrats, yes. And I'm not going to try to throw Republicans in Democrats' faces either, because I know what, again, Proposition 2025, right? Project 2025 is all about, and how they're trying to go about it. And just because they smiling in front of your face and ask you to cook collard greens for them, don't mean they're your friend. They just looking at you like they did those people when in slavery time, the ones who worked in the house, and they treated a little bit better, and they thought that they could get them to tell on the ones who were out in the field by talking good and sweet to them, when they still was oppressing them the same. And those people didn't get that. Some of them didn't get that until it was too late. All right. So, for when you go for early voting, or when you go to vote on May 19th, because early voting ends May 15th, which is next Friday, and then next week sometime. I think it's next Friday. Then the regular day to vote is that May 19th. All right, when you go there, you need to make sure you have your driver's license or a state government ID. Your school ID will not work. You have to have either something provided by the government, okay? A valid ID to vote in person. If you don't have one, the Colquitt County Register can provide a free Georgia voter ID card for you. You can go to your DMV, and if you don't, want a license, just get a picture stating that you live in Georgia and all of that. Now, I hope it doesn't come to this, but if with everything that I see going on in Tennessee and Virginia and Florida, what they really want to do, if you read Progress 2025, Project 2025, they want to get it so they wipe out certain people's vote. And one of the ways they're going to do that is redistricting, doing the gerrymandering of the maps. And then the other way, they're going to start having, they're trying to take it back to Jim Crow days, or they want to have it like apartheid system in South Africa. But we're not going to, God is not going to allow that to happen, because he is going to, the people that he had waiting for this time and moment that he had in the background is going to step forward to lead the people and make sure we fight against all of this. So what they're trying to do is make it where people have to prove that they were born here, and they want people to have birth certificates. That's coming down the line, maybe quicker than we think, sooner than we think. As I told the Democratic Party of Moultrie in one meeting, some people wanted to hear it, and the person over it tried to shut me down like I didn't know what I was talking about. But I do my research. I always do my research. And I know more about the legislation that's being written than most people, because I'm always researching. I'm always educating myself. I'm not trying to put on banquets. I'm not trying to put on a show for folks, but I'm educating myself so that I can educate people. So I can't educate anybody if I don't know anything. So I stay educated and learn something new every day. I get the trainings from the Georgia Democrats, from the national Democrats. Why do you think I was in the Midwest and traveling all over the country? Who do you think I was doing, trying to help? The people. I'm one of the people that make sure that God working through me to help make sure that people got FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, that people got vacation day, sick leave pay, that fighting for the first responders to keep their pension plans, all of that. It's a lot of stuff that people like me do behind the scenes that you don't know about and won't know about unless we tell you. And most of the time we don't tell you because we don't want you to know what we're doing until it's necessary, so that people won't try to stop the progress that God is doing and working in and through us for the glory of God and for the good of the people. All right. So the primary is May 19th. That's the final day to vote for the primary election. And this is where you choose which Democrat, if you're a Democrat, or whatever your party is. But I'm focusing on the Democrats. We'll move on to the November general election. If you have any questions, please contact Angels of Purpose at angelsofpurpose.com. You can go to my contact us page and fill out that form, and I will either call you or shoot you an email depending on how urgent the situation is. We will start getting out some seminars and to get out the vote for the general election. And we will also start educating people. Hopefully we can have some pastors in this community that let us speak for 5 minutes at every church, rotate to different churches and speak and educate people on about what's going on, the legislation, about local government, about the city, what the city is trying to do or not do. Like most people don't even realize there's a company of brothers in Moultrie, Georgia that has 5 businesses and they're doing a monopoly. They're buying up land to build these apartments or these quadplexes. And they're getting a lot of these contracts from the city of Moultrie because all they do is just change their company name, and they got about 5 businesses that I know of, and they get all these contracts. And then if they have a house that is whatever, they want to tear it down and they'll do a duplex or whatever, which is fine. But some of these things could go to other people who are just as qualified, but they don't know how to get around that, right? So we're going to meet and talk about those kind of things and get people up to date, because it's all about what? Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of the word of God. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of how the government works. And that is what Angels of Purpose is about. Giving you knowledge, understanding, and wisdom spiritually, politically, financially, and in every way possible. And if we are not the best resource, we will bring in resources to get you the information or break it down to you. Have a blessed and prosperous day. You will see this on YouTube pretty soon, and you'll have my YouTube link in here in a few minutes. Have a blessed, prosperous day. Please make sure you share this. Please make sure you send it out to people. Thank you.